we are entering, especially if you're watching this video, you're entering, I'm entering, she entering, he entering, they entering into this phase of getting it the out. Hello tribe, and welcome to Lena Mystic. I'm so happy to see you guys today. So I wanted to go ahead and put out this video because this energy is kind of like, whoa, what's going on? And I kind of want to clear it up. So there is quite a bit of growing, I'll say, that's going on right now. And the spiritual community calls this an ascension. I personally feel like this is more of a purge as a gateway to ascension. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like bleh, bleh, like you're throwing up all the bad stuff, and all of it's kind of coming up. It's coming up, and it's like, oh, I hate that, and oh, that's still there, like, no, don't look at me. And that's kind of what the energy feels like. I've been trying to explain like some of these emotions that are rising, and some of these feelings, and some of these visions even, and it is so unexplainable. And I really feel like this is the time for us to become more in touch with ourselves and let the stuff come up. It's so important that we let that stuff come up, because it's saying, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for you to make peace with this. It's almost like we are mourning our pain, and sometimes we hold on to this pain to give us purpose, to move us further in life. But the pain is saying, honey, at this point, I'm holding you back, so let me go. It's almost like the pain loves us so much that it says, I've served my purpose, I've woken you up to the world, and I've shown you this, and I've revealed this person's intentions, but now it's time for me to go. You have learned enough from me, and you've been raised enough to know how to not end up in those same positions. If you're following me, go ahead and comment below that you're following me and you get what I'm saying, okay? Because, and you know what, go ahead and comment a butterfly. I think butterflies are such an amazing transformation symbol. I even think that dragonflies are also one, and we know that I love spirit animals. But yeah, it seems like the pain is coming up, and it's saying, hey honey, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to no longer cause you these tears at night, for me to no longer cause you this discomfort at night, this insomnia in a sense, this anxiety. You are ready to move forth is the energy that's happening right now. It's saying, purge it, purge it, purge it, get it out, throw it up, let it come up. If you've ever thrown up, especially if you've been pregnant, you know. The worst part is literally you knowing it's coming up, because you know how it feels to get out, and you just feel nasty after. And I really feel like throwing up, purging, is the symbol of what's happening right now. It's all right, I'm in here. You didn't know I was making you sick. You didn't know I was making you uncomfortable. You didn't know this is why you weren't able to sleep at night. But I've been in here, and now I'm ready to get out, because your body is vibrating so high that you're ready to move on to the next phase. You're ready to move on to this growth period. And although purging is hideous, the after purge is so beautiful. I mean, after a little while, you gotta give it a few days, but you start to see the world in a different view after you purge. You feel lighter. You feel like, I mean, you may still be getting it out. If anyone's ever really purged, like where they did some type of cleanse in their body, it feels like okay, it feels like crap. It's like, I'm still sitting on the toilet. What's happening? Or I'm still throwing up in the toilet. What's happening? I don't like this. But you know that it's helping you to cleanse your body. Even inflammation, when your body experiences inflammation, that inflammation is actually helping you to get rid of an infection or something that's not doing you good. Inflammation is the gateway to getting better in a lot of cases. So right now you're kind of in that inflammatory stage, that aggravated phase, where things are triggering you, things are bothering you, things are coming up that you didn't even know you were still holding on to. And it's saying, this is the gateway to healing. This is the gateway to releasing. This is the gateway to really just get, not even back to who you are, but getting to a sense of more peace in your life, more stability. And I've really been connecting to my guides lately, and I found myself disconnected, just trying to find my way back to my spirit. And I was doing these meditations and I just didn't feel like they were doing enough for me. And I've been really highlighting the word should, because should is just one of those words that can really beat you down and make you feel like you're not accomplishing as much as you actually are. Should is a word that highlights you're not doing it right. But should is not real. Should is merely perception. So when you use that word should, or when you expect something to look a certain way, you're kind of digging yourself in a hole, you're digging yourself in a ditch. So what you want to do is not use the word should and not really fully have an exact expectation of what anything is supposed to look like, but be grateful for the way that things are. And also know, if you want it to be a certain way and you know it's possible, you actually saying how you feel, putting it out there, and then receiving what's coming after that. So there's a lot of components, but overall, I want you guys to focus on the fact that we are entering, especially if you're watching this video, you're entering, I'm entering, she entering, he entering, they entering into this phase of getting it out. Okay, getting it out, get it out, say it, speak it, yell it, scream it, dance it, whatever you have to do, paint it, cook it, let it go. And when people say let it go, it's so abstract. No one's actually saying what it's like to let something go. But what it's like to let something go is to actually see it for what it is. And it really sucks sometimes. It really does. When you have to face something that's ugly and you have to stare at it and look it in the eye and say, I'm looking at you. I see you. Why are you still here? Why can't I let you go? It gets ugly. It really does. You cry. You might really throw up. You might feel nauseous. You might get headaches. You might start to sleep a lot because it's just too much for you to deal with. But that is a phase that you have to experience so that you can release it, because when you face things is when you see it as what it is and not what you thought it was, not what you think it should be. None of that. You just see it as it is. And a lot of the times when we see things in its truth, we are more capable of releasing it because we realize it's not as big and scary as we thought it was. And we realize that it is something that we choose and something that we can no longer choose. We can choose to no longer choose and bring into our life. So take your power back by letting this purge be the gateway to your growth, your ascension, your spiritual awakening even. I mean, you're already in a spiritual awakening if you're going through a purge, because you're like, oh crap, all this stuff is coming forth. But if you want to keep growing during this spiritual awakening, you do have to face it. You have to face it head on, because if you don't, you're halting your spiritual growth. You're stopping your spiritual awakening and saying, hey, I'm not doing this. And I don't think that's fair to yourself, especially if you have these goals and you feel like you're not reaching them and you're being presented a massive, magical opportunity to heal yourself so that when you get what you want, you're in a healed place to keep it, to grow it. That's a big blessing. And I feel like some of us really throw that blessing away because we feel like, oh, I already got what I wanted. Now I'm just gonna I'm not gonna grow anymore. Like, what? That's not even fair to yourself. I feel like that's how people lose, and I'm not just talking about monetary riches, but that's how you lose riches in your life, because you're no longer growing, because you choose to say, I don't want to grow anymore in my life. I'm being awarded an opportunity to grow, to get better, but you know what, I'll just stay where I'm at. And then you start to realize that you're not that grateful for what you have, because you're like, oh, something's missing. My soul's not being heard. My soul's not being spoke to. Because you have to grow. And I've been in that place so many times where I've been like, why don't I feel a spark? It's because your heart starts to speak a little bit less and a little bit softer when you don't listen to it. And that's actually a lesson from The Alchemist as well, the book The Alchemist. Your heart will speak a little bit less, a little bit softer, if you choose to no longer hear it because it doesn't want to see you in pain, if you keep choosing to do something and every time your heart brings up a topic and you're like, that upsets me, like, yeah, your heart's gonna be like, oh honey, I don't want to upset you, so I'll just speak a little bit softer, and when you're ready. Your heart's not gonna force you to do anything. You have to work for it. You really do have to work for it. So right now, embrace the purge, embrace the cleanse, embrace the vomiting, embrace the diarrhea of your spirit, and know that this is a gateway to your growth. And as scary as it might be, especially those of us that are getting back to things that we used to do and we feel like, I can't do this anymore, I'm not capable, or the time is gone. I know we say that time is limited, but when you do things that you love, you don't even worry about time. Time is limitless, okay? When you do the things that you love. Think about the things that you love doing where you're not looking at the clock, where you're not obsessing over other things. Think about those things that take your mind off of the things that really just beat you up inside. And I'm not talking about intoxication. I'm talking about things that feed your freaking soul, not things. Now, I think some people get it confused. They're like, oh, well, drinking makes me feel that same thing. Does it? Because it's literally taking away your consciousness. So what are the things that keep you conscious, keep you aware, and in your body, in your soul? What are those things that spark you while you're fully conscious? Not things that take away your consciousness, because you're taking your time away from yourself and your soul when you engage in things that shut off pieces of yourself. That's not the goal. The goal is to embrace everything. Where can you embrace everything and still feel sparked, still feel inspired and motivated, empowered? Those are the places you want to be more often. If you haven't found that, go ahead and explore it. It's worth it. It totally is worth it. Tarot definitely is one of those things for me. Oracle reading is definitely one of those things for me where I feel like I am reconnecting with my spirit and I'm fully accepting and embracing what's happening. Even though some readings you're like, what? It's okay. It's all okay. This is a process of life. So engage in something that makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, and is still allowing you to be conscious, because this purge is here and it's saying, honey, it's time to do the work. So do the work, love yourself, and find all the pleasures in life that you can. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, put a butterfly in the comment section and make sure you're subscribed and you push the bell for post notifications so you know when I post something. Love you. Bye.